All right, we're ready to talk some Browns free agency, at least what has happened so far. I think going into this free agency period, there was a lot of doom and gloom, but there has been some good news. Joel Bitonio staying with the team, Myles Garrett, the big contract, some signings. Eric, what do you think about what are you giving Andrew Berry and the Browns so far for this free agency period?
It's across the board. I guess a B if I average it out. Re-signing Myles Garrett, that's an A. The only way it could be an A plus is if they get 3 first round draft picks out of him. So, the defense would be abysmal without him. I'm hoping this is the start of a new great season for this defense. Joel Bitonio staying, that's like a B plus, A minus. Offensive line would also take a massive hit without him. Looked like they were going to hopefully have their heir apparent in Zach Zinter. That didn't look like to be the case last year. They either need to develop him quickly this year or have an heir apparent drafted this spring. And then the pickups, Malik Collins, 10-year pro, averaging about 4 or 5 sacks a year, 25 and a half overall, 7 forced fumbles, 4 passes defended. He's going to take the spot of Dalvin Tomlinson. I'm hoping he's consistent and reliable. Doesn't have to be a world beater, but at least reliable, again, to be alongside Michael Hall. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, hoping I pronounce that right. He was a first-round pick, number 32 in 2021. He has the high upside, obviously being that first-round pick. However, he has been lacking the production that you would want out of a first-round pick, which is why Tampa Bay released him. He has the 15 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 8 passes defended in 4 years. So it is a low risk move. They didn't give up anything for him for a former first round pick. So if he can be a rotational player like a Isaiah McGuire or Alex Wright, that's pretty much all I'm looking for. So I give that a grade, maybe a C or a B minus. So, again, all across the board, you're still financially strapped based on the quarterback situation. And then, Nick Chubb, looking like he's not going to return. Nothing official yet. We're going to miss all of his great runs, all the great memories he had with this team, provided he leaves. I was hoping to keep him as a third running back, but I would be surprised if the Browns did not draft one and kind of have that be the replacement and have that guy be alongside Jerome Ford for the majority of the snaps for the year. And then last but not least, Dalvin Tomlinson. He had some plays in 2023. I wouldn't call them memorable, but he had some plays. Didn't really amount to much in 2024. So that was yet another unfortunate free agent signing by Andrew Berry. I'm hoping that Malik Collins can be the guy that Dalvin Tomlinson was, but time will tell. So again, going across, it's been a little bit better than average, financially strapped. We can do the best we can. So I wasn't expecting, those splashy moves, and usually those splashy moves don't work out. So, it's kind of, we'll wait and see what happens with the draft. But, we kind of filled the holes that we created by, the Joel Bitonio, Myles Garrett. So we'll see from there. But that's about the best, I guess you could say, Andrew Berry could do in this time frame.
All right, so overall grade that you're going to give to Andrew Berry.
I'll say B minus.
B minus. Okay, Drew. B minus, higher or lower? What are you thinking?
It's tough. They're in such a tough spot with the salary cap. It just free agency used to be such a cool time. The Browns would always be in on some of the top guys. Sometimes that worked out. Oftentimes it didn't. Usually teams that try to build through free agency, it doesn't always end well. But there's times when they were able to go out and make a trade for someone because they had the salary cap space. They've been particularly good in that avenue. I'm thinking, of course, of Amari Cooper. That one comes to mind quickly. But they going out and being able to get Dalvin Tomlinsons of the world, going out and be able to sign somebody that was always like a Jack Conklin, for example. That was always a fun time during the season, and that is very much not the case anymore. But over the cap does say that the Browns have just under $15 million in salary cap space for this year. They're going to need a chunk of that to sign their draft picks, but they still have the space to go out and add some of these people that are still available as we get into day 3 and now day 4 of free agency. So the name that I would love to see them add is Tryon Smith. He's 34 years old. He's often injured. I get why he's still available, but he would give you a starting option for a left tackle, and that is hard to find. He'd be an upgrade over Jed Wells, again, when healthy. I can't stress that enough. But if you can get him healthy for 10 to 12 games of 2025, that would be a huge improvement. And at this point in free agency, I think they could go out and add that name and at least fill one of the gigantic holes that exist on this roster. The other name that I'm looking at is Azeez Ojulari. He's 25. He was the 50th overall pick. He's played well when he's been given his opportunities. He hasn't been given many of those opportunities. He's also played for a really bad team and a bad franchise in the New York Giants of late. So he's someone that a change of scenery, being able to play opposite Myles Garrett might be a huge improvement for him. A change of scenery might do him a lot of good. So if they were able to add one of those two players, I think that would fill one of the two big holes that I see on the roster with somebody that could at least get you a good player for this year, and in the case of Ojulari, potentially for years to come. So if they're able to add one of those two players, I will say free agency has been a success because you fill a hole. That's always my goal in free agency. Find one area where you can get a good upgrade for the team. And they haven't done that yet because of the situation they're in. So at this point, my grade for the Browns in free agency has to be somewhere along the range of C- to D+. I just don't give much credit when you re-sign your own player. That's not a free agent success story for me. Re-signing Myles Garrett and convincing Joel Bitonio to lace him up for one more year in the sun, that's not adding. Like those players existed on the 3 and whatever, the 3 and 14 2024 Browns roller coaster disaster, right? So you want to get better in free agency, and I don't think they've done that up to this point.
Well, Drew, you did predict the Andre Hunter trade to a T for the DeAndre Hunter. I'm sorry. You got that perfectly right. So if you get these, we'll certainly shout it to the mountaintops once again
from the future.
I will close it out and say I'll go B-. I think the expectations were super low. Yes, having draft picks for Myles Garrett, that sounds great, but keeping this team together, I think the team was on the edge of a mutiny if we were going to lose Myles Garrett, of people just everyone would want to leave this team. So I think Myles Garrett, keeping him in Cleveland keeps a lot of the key pieces together